Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Would you like even more content? Here's my Patreon. Now onto the stories. Case file number 1313, written by Maddox337, The Silent Siren Anomaly. The house I was living in at the time had a sort of uneasiness to it. I'm not sure how to explain it. Anyway, other than feeling the need to keep the lights on a lot, two specific things stand out. I was in high school at the time, my parents divorced, and I'm waiting for my dad to pick me up to go get some dinner one night. The house is on a short, private road off the main road. There are two other houses on this road, mine being the third. Okay, so I'm sitting on the stairs in front of the door, and I hear what sounds like the siren of a distant fire engine. Nothing abnormal there. But it keeps getting louder and louder to the point where I think, okay, it must be on the main road up the hill. It kept getting louder and louder until I thought the fire truck must be coming down our private road. But I can see the other two houses, neither of which were on fire. The siren got so loud that I was convinced any second I would see it come over the hill into view on the road in front of my house. It was blaring. So I walk to the front door, open it, and step outside to see it. The second I step outside, dead silent. No siren blaring, no engine, no truck. Silence. My dad didn't believe me and thought it was somewhere else in the neighborhood, but I swear to God this crap went down exactly as I typed it. The second main thing actually happened relatively close to the fire truck thing. Got home from school, still in high school, went into the basement and turned on my Xbox. Now, this basement was not at all creepy on anything except for a small room off to the side, which my dog absolutely refused to ever enter. He would just stand in the doorframe. The basement has got a TV setup, couch, pool table. It was chilly. Now, this house was built on a hill, so the back side of the house had a sliding door in the basement to the backyard, even though the front side of the house was underground in terms of the basement. Okay, so I get home, play some Xbox, just chill out. Then the window next to the sliding glass door in the basement starts shaking violently. If you take both hands and start smacking a window with your palms as hard as you can, that's exactly what it looked like and sounded like. Smack, 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 smack. I watched it for maybe 10 seconds before I bolted the crap upstairs. Started freaking out because I just knew there was something up with the house. And the fire truck crap was still recent. The only thing I could think was that a buddy followed me home and did that crap to scare me, but that makes no freaking sense. And there was fresh snow outside the window. Nobody had been standing there. I lived in the house for a while, and again, there was always something off. You could just feel it. I always felt a need to have lights on for comfort, and I'll admit I did my fair share of looking behind me for no reason. But that window crap absolutely messed with me. I legitimately yelled, "Please stop, you're scaring me," into an empty house after that window incident. Case notes for the file 1313, The Silent Siren Anomaly. This is classic multiversal shenanigans, and it affected the entire localized area because your dad heard it too. So the siren was coming, you heard it, but it was out of phase. It's almost like those portals where those crossover events were through the multiverse, but nothing comes through exactly, just sound. Sound, smell, like when a dog or a cat is observing a specific area. They know something is there that shouldn't be, and it's crossover from another universe where there's stuff going on there that isn't happening in this one. In this case, it's just sound, and what is sound? It's just reverberations in the air or any material, so that could easily cross through a portal, nothing else crossing over, and I don't think it's large enough even for an actual fire truck to cross over, in my guess. So you get stuff like this. Pretty disturbing to hear something that isn't there, but nothing to really fear. Creepy file number 125, written by supahfligh, The Midnight Stranger. A couple years ago, I was up late watching a movie one night. I'm talking at like 1 AM here. It was like June or July maybe. There's a knock on my door. Scared the hell out of me. I flick on my porch light and look out the window. There's some dude just standing there. Just some regular looking guy in a gray hoodie. I live in a small town with an almost non-existent crime rate, so I don't think too much about it, but I'm still cautious because this is still weird. I live literally right next door to our local sheriff's department. At first I'm thinking he might just be somebody needing help, in which case I could direct him to the station super easily. I decide to crack open the door to see what's going on. The television and light in my living room are both on. The guy can clearly see that someone is home and awake. Probably why he knocked on my door. The guy tells me he's going door to door asking for donations to replace Christmas gifts that were lost in a house fire earlier that day. Reminder, this was in the middle of summer, in the middle of the night, not even close to Christmas. The guy didn't look or sound high or drunk or anything, and his clothes were pretty clean from what I could see, so I don't think he was homeless either. The way he was acting and talking, he seemed perfectly lucid and with it. It was just what he said to me that was super freaking weird. I tell the guy I can't help him, he thanks me anyway and walks away. I immediately called the police, told the person I spoke to exactly what happened just in case this guy was up to something sketchy. This is where it gets a little creepy, well, creepier. Before I can tell him my address, the dispatcher asked me if I live in a certain area that's actually about a 15-minute drive away from where I am. I tell them no, I'm just right next door to them. I ask why. He says that not 5 minutes before I called, he received another call from someone in the aforementioned area reporting the exact same thing I had just called in about. The description of the guy sounded almost identical to the guy who came to my door. The dispatcher said there were no fires reported that day. I never saw the guy again and never heard any more about it. Case notes for the Creepy File 125, The Midnight Stranger. This is extremely disturbing. More than most supernatural stories I read. Middle of July, someone's asking for Christmas gifts at 1 a.m. I can tell you now, I would not have opened the door, even if the person knew I was there. I mean, better to leave the barrier of the door, fully secured. But it really makes you wonder what was his goal, because he just left. You were alone. Maybe he thought more people were there? But then the other report that the dispatcher mentioned, something like this happening far away, but there was no violence reported, at least not that you mentioned, that the dispatcher told you. It's just some strange person going around. Maybe they were actually high, and you just couldn't tell? Or it could even have been a person out of time. Maybe they, from their perspective, it wasn't even 1 a.m. Maybe it was like daytime, near Christmas, per them in a different universe, that it was out of sync in time. Most multiverse universes should be in sync, operating at the same time, but maybe sometimes they don't. Maybe sometimes people can come from different points in time, crossing over. They are space-time portals. Let's not forget the time factor. And now time for the quote of the day. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. Ferris Bueller. Well, as the other adage goes, stop and smell the roses, and also have some coffee with you. There's nothing better than waking up in the morning, having a coffee, and just enjoying a view. That's it. You don't need anything else. Well, after breaking the fast with some delicious breakfast, that'll do. But I think a lot of people are stuck in this rat race where nothing else matters besides going as fast as possible in the most efficient path possible. But living like that, you're never gonna bring forth those memories from the last quote. You're on your deathbed and you have memories that say, that was worth it. I actually lived life. And honestly, it's those small moments, especially with someone you love, that really make it worth it. So have those small moments. Don't miss life. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.